morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well, especially after everything that's going on yesterday. I hope everyone's hanging in there. Totally still processing everything, but I'm super excited about today's live. There she is. Okay, just waiting for it to connect. Oh, here we go. Okay. I know this is normally earlier than most of my lives, but Maggie is based out of Hong Kong, so I'm super excited.
Hi.
Hey! Awesome. How are you?
I'm good. Can I select the right filter?
Yeah, I think so. That's awesome.
That is
Wait, I didn't
so
know you
neat.
could select filters on the other side.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's like a prereq for me.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm so excited to be here. Oh, there's like
Yeah, no,
literally so many
totally.
filters. I'm sorry, I'm playing around with you right now.
Oh, you're fine. It is all good. No worries.
Okay.
Well, as you're selecting your
Yeah.
filter, I'll just do like the welcome and the intro. So, welcome everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever in the world you are tuning in from. While Maggie is choosing her filter, I'll just do our little intro.
Mhm.
So, I made it back to the States, so I'm live here in Denver, Colorado right now, and I'm live here with Maggie based out of Hong Kong. So, I'm super excited about this interview. Thanks again for joining me for another one of these boss interviews every Tuesday and Thursdays. I'm super excited just to feature some amazing individuals doing incredible things, and they're always going to drop so much value. So, Maggie's gonna really blow your mind today. So anyways, I'm super excited about having her on today. I'd love to start out by introducing her to all of you. So Maggie's a mom of three. She's an author, an illustrator. She grew up in Orlando, Florida, and she's now based in Hong Kong. She is a high-performance life coach, an artist, a dreamer, motivational speaker, and a mentor for at-risk youth. She realized that her true calling is to inspire others to chase their dreams, and it's all about becoming eagle-eye focused with productivity and purpose. So with that being said, thank you so much for being here today.
I'm so excited to be here, Monique. I've been waiting to be on here since like the first interview I saw of yours. And by the way, you are
Really?
such a good host. Like you're an
No,
amazing
thank
MC.
you. Thank you. Yeah, everyone's like, you should do a podcast. I'm like, oh, it's another thing. But I
You
enjoy these
totally
because it's just
should.
like,
You absolutely.
oh man, this is awesome. Well, as we dive in, can you first start out by telling us more about like your journey and how you got started?
Yes. Okay. So that was a great intro, by the way. You pretty much summed up what I'm doing.
I know, right? I'm like, what do you not do? Gosh, every time I see your content, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like,
So I specialize in multi-passionate creatives, which is people who has lots of ideas and very little time, just like myself.
mm,
I am a creative, I'm a songwriter, I'm a musician since I was born, and super creative, but always find myself like not having enough time to pursue all my ideas. But the
mhm.
problem is I have hundreds of ideas and inventions and all this stuff that. I don't know if you're the same, but usually I would
Mhm,
think you are because from your content and the way you are just always on the go, like we
mhm,
just have so many ideas. So when it started was when I had my second child, my second baby. I just felt like, you know what, there are so many dreams that I haven't um, touched into. It's like they've been put in the back burner for so
yeah.
long, and it's almost like I forgot what it's like to be a productive person because
Mm,
just day to day, things were happening. And I just started pursuing my dreams one by one, starting with my book. I wrote and illustrated a children's book for my kids.
yeah.
And then while I was doing that, I literally did that in like 12 weeks. It was like such a short time, but I was
Wow.
producing so much work. I drew the whole thing. We wrote a song for it. The song's really popular in Hong Kong with all the
Oh, that's
kindergarten.
amazing.
Yeah, the kids are singing it in kindergarten. Like that's like their morning ritual,
Oh
which
my
is really hilarious
gosh.
because the
Wow.
book is a positive message. It's like a life coaching session for the
Yeah.
kids. And when I started that, I was like on a roll, and then I made an app for it. I just like I
Wow.
yeah, I got someone to code it. I drew the whole app, and next thing I know, I was like doing more and more, and I was just like, you know what? This is what life is about. I got
Mhm.
to do my passion project that I've always wanted to do. I put it back for like 7 years. And after I did that, I just felt like, you know what? I need people to feel like this. and that's when Productive Dreamers, my coaching business, started happening. I've been coaching people, a few years back locally, but my online business really started last year, or I would say 2018 or 2019. Yeah, 2019 in around October. So it's about like a year and a few months old.
Congrats.
Thank you. And ever since, I've been meeting amazing people like you and all these wonderful coaches, like fellow coaches, and we're all doing our thing and coaching people from all over the world pursuing their dreams. So it's something that I can talk about forever.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing. That's so inspiring. Gosh.
Thank you.
Okay, so if you had to narrow it down to like your one favorite thing, what is
Okay.
the one favorite thing about the work that you do?
Okay, the one absolute favorite thing that I do is the results, the tangible results. Because when I coach, what I do is, let's say you want to write a book.
Yeah.
So at the end of the session, we have a celebration week. Like, we're looking at the book,
Mm-hmm.
So that's the most fulfilling thing to me, because people would be crying saying, I've wanted to write this book forever. Or I had a client, she is a musician in Hong Kong, and I've known her for a while. And then she finally signed on to start her first album ever. And she was so scared. There was a lot of mindset issues. By the end of our sessions, by the end of the program, she is now on the radio. Her first song is on the radio, and she got to get on stage with like really, really big, known celebrities and musicians. That is like, she achieved her dream, like the entrance of her dreams, I guess. But she did it, and to me, that is so fulfilling. Like, I was a part of that. I got to contribute into her, like, her dream. It's huge to me.
That's awesome. I just got chills because I'm just like, oh my gosh, yay.
Yeah,
I love
it's
seeing the wins,
big.
right? Yeah, yeah. Definitely takes the work. Well, so I'm super excited about today's topic. I have been really inspired by you, and regarding the productivity piece, like how would you say you do it all? Like, because I'm sure like there are days where it's just like that's a lot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, what does that mean to you?
So I have a thing called, I call it the 4 pillars of work-life balance. It's kind of like the work-life harmony. So it's basically consists of productivity, creativity, because people without lots of ideas, they're probably really creative.
Yeah.
And then the third and fourth one is community, which is we are social beings. We need to have relationships with people. So it's like the boundaries between people. And then the fourth one is longevity, which is really taking care of ourselves. So when these 4 quadrants are healthy, that's when I think we are the most productive. So I do believe in some sort of work-life balance, but doesn't mean that the picture looks perfect, because I have 3 kids. Like, my house is constantly messy, but we are gauging and we're looking at like what we're working with, and we try to manage and juggle as best as we can.
Yeah, no, totally. I feel like, some people, they have their own definition of like what work balance, like, like work-life balance is, because it is not always perfect, right? But that's exactly what it is. It should just be like work-life balance to you and how that works for you.
Exactly.
Definitely.
There's no such thing, but then there is, because you need to know where you're at, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Exactly. No, totally. Can you debunk the myth that you need to work like 15 hours a day to, just hustle all the time to be productive?
Okay, so I am probably the most productive person anyone's ever met. Like, I'm always producing results. Like, I would say, like, books are on Amazon like every few weeks, and like there's
That's
actual
awesome.
things happening, right? But honestly, if you come to my house and hang with me for a week, you probably think I'm lazy. Like, I'm always like sleeping over time. I'm hanging out with the kids. I think, yeah, that is a myth, to work 15, 16 hours. Because I used to do that. I used to be in finance. I think you were in finance too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I was in finance, and I was working, I would get to work at 8 a.m. and I don't go home till 3 a.m. in Hong Kong. I was working in like the Forex, so that the market never stops, it's money. So I was working nonstop, and yeah, the money was coming in, but I was like losing myself, my body, and all that stuff. So no, I don't believe in working 15 hours a day. Like, that's ridiculous. It's all about, first of all, knowing that we don't need that much. Like, yeah, well, you can work 24 hours a day, but It's also not a good investment.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's about structuring your life, structuring the schedule, and knowing that only working, let's say 6 to 7 hours, it's enough.
Mhm.
Or 8 hours for those of you who are, working regular jobs, like eight hours is enough. Yeah,
Yeah, totally. Well, it's going back to your priorities, right? Because obviously, like, if
exactly.
you're not like, family is important to you, but that doesn't like show up in like what it looks like in your day, like, it's definitely not aligned there.
Hmm.
Actually, you did a post like recently, I think it was yesterday, about like this Clubhouse sensation. Can you
Oh,
touch a
yeah.
little bit on that?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so the first day I was like on it for 6 hours. I was just like, because I was like exposed to all these big conferences,
Yeah,
and they're all people that, oh my goodness, I like
exactly. Yeah,
totally wanted to meet
like,
for the longest time. And you think
yeah.
you can literally be on the stage with them together.
Mhm.
And I was just like, what is this concept? But then I saw my kid's face. Like I was, the audio is constantly on,
Yeah,
and it's awkward because the kids know that you're not actually there. And I
yeah.
always pride myself in saying I'm 1,000% here for you. But then with Clubhouse, I clearly wasn't. It was like
Mhm.
my mind was floating in another huge room with 1,000 people in there.
Oh,
So I had to turn it off. Right now I'm limiting myself to just 1 hour. Like
good for you.
that's not easy, right?
Yeah,
It's
I know, right?
not easy. Well, okay, some of them I actually play it in the background, but then
Yeah.
it's like really far away. But I realize when it's playing in the background, I'm not listening.
Hmm.
So I just end up turning it off.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up too, because it's like I have been seeing it as well. Like some people have been wearing it like a badge of honor. Like, oh my gosh, I've been here for like 10 hours and stuff. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, I even legit had to like, post a statement from like, because I've been getting DMs like, do you even work? And I'm like,
Oh, I saw
yes, I
that.
do. Like, oh
I
my gosh,
saw
like
that.
like a State of the Union address. Like,
Well, I did
oh
see
man.
like these really big people, and we're like, how do you guys have been on this thing for 30 days? Like what? And
Yeah.
they're on there for like 5 hours. I'm like, what do you guys, how
Oh,
do
I
you
know,
guys do
right?
it? You're on the, like, you're like
Yeah.
billionaires. And then,
I know. And some of them have public companies too, where I'm just like, yeah, I know you got teams, but you're still like in charge of a public company. So,
I
oh,
really think
crazy.
it's not gonna be long term like that,
Yeah.
especially for those type of speakers. Maybe
Hmm.
there's gonna be some sort of shift. It's just like right now it's so new and it's so
Yeah,
much fun to
exactly.
know about everybody's stories.
Hmm.
So everyone's on it like a lot, and I'm so
Yeah.
glad I got to be in it at this stage, like right now.
Yeah, the gold rush phase.
Yeah.
Anyway, so back on topic.
Yeah.
What are your top three tips for finding purpose and going after your dreams?
Okay, so I had the hardest time in finding my dreams because I'm so greedy. I wanted to do everything, right? Like everything.
Want to do it all.
Exactly. So my very first professor, also my life coach, she taught me a way which is called the passions list,
Okay.
or passions test. So basically, you list out 10 things that are most important to you. Let's say, like, I can't live without music. I have to be with my family, things like that. So you list out 10 of them. And then I just do the elimination thing. So you eliminate five. If
Mhm.
you can only live with five, what would it be? And you get rid of
Yeah.
five. And then it keeps on going down until you find your final one and your top three. So that's the way I did it. And it was the longest life question, but then I solved it in like
Mhm.
one day.
Yeah. I know, right? You just have to like put in the time. Well, and I always recommend like, when you are doing like any sort of journaling or writing, like do it on a
Yeah.
morning when your mind is clear, and then just let it flow. Like
So
do
at
the
the
airplane
end of the
mode and
day,
everything too.
my final answer, it was so simple. My number one purpose and passion and what I love is being with my kids and
Yeah.
providing and giving them happiness. Like that's my top one passion.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's so simple.
Yeah, no, totally. Your kiddos are super cute too. How old are they again?
Thank you. So I have a 7-year-old, 5 and 2. Yeah.
Oh,
Three
so sweet.
girls.
So sweet. So for some people, and like some people have big goals and, the big dreams, and around this time of the year, they always set these goals. But I feel like something that I always see as well is that people fall into
Mhm.
this loop where they
Yeah.
maybe set their goals too big, or, they fall into this pattern where they end up not hitting the goals. As you hear kind of like about them, like what's your advice for these kind of people?
Okay, so yes, setting too big of a goal is hard. Like let's say like I'm gonna make $1 billion this year.
Yeah.
Just laughing at me. Like, you're not being realistic here.
Mhm.
I mean, you can if you're at that stage.
Yeah.
You're just starting out, you're a fresh grad, you know, I don't know. Maybe. Actually, that, I mean, we want to dream God-sized dreams, I always say,
Yeah.
and nothing's impossible. But if you're making that big of a dream for your year or your goal, you need to put in the work. Like, there's the accountability part. Like, you need to really do it. Not that it's not impossible. I just met someone, he made the $1 million mark in 1 year with his
Wow.
startup, and it's like, actually on Clubhouse, a lot of people are doing that, and you can see
Yeah.
that. And like, wow, like, it's not impossible. So it is possible, but I believe their integrity in saying what they're gonna do and they actually do it. That's the part. So for the people who are having struggles every single year when you're setting a goal and you're not doing it, it means that something is not aligned. Like, maybe you're not really wanting to do it. Because if you actually have such an important why, you would make it happen. It would work. It's going to happen. So it has to mean something around, like, something's not aligned there, or subconsciously you don't want to do it. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The
No,
third part, maybe that goal wasn't aligned with you. Or maybe that goal was unrealistic. So I always do 4 goals anyways per year. Like, I do quarterly goals. So it's always 3 months. It's a lot more realistic. Like, you won't say I want to make, you know, $1 million in 3 months. You know, it's a lot more realistic. It's more like, I want to start exercising in 3 months.
Yeah, totally.
Those are more realistic goals. But I think all goals are achievable. Like, I have a huge dream, Monique. I want to build a school. I want to build a school that serves the poor, and poor families and kids with disadvantages, abused, you know, oppressed, all these kids. And this dream to me is impossible. I have no background in education. As actually, I'm declaring it in this live right now that I'm gonna do it. But I think it's gonna be more of a 3 to 5 years goal. But what am I doing over this year? I'm dissecting it. I'm reverse engineering it. So this year, I'm still in my master's. I'm doing all this stuff. So all I can do is kind of make the plan a tiny bit more concrete and find the mentors, kind of researching. See, the dreams are not, I'm still going to do it. It's scheduled, but I'm just not doing it this year. Doesn't mean I'm a loser. It's scheduled. Like, it's engineered in there. I'm going to do it. It's just one step at a time, and then I make other goals for this year, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, totally. Hi, Lisa, Hannah, Chris, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Chris dropped a comment here too. Realistic goals are so hard to define for him. Do you have any advice for Chris?
Realistic goals are hard to define. Okay. It depends on, it has to be measurable. What is the measurement of success here for the goal? So for the goal to be realistic, let's say someone just told me, okay, I want to have 100K followers in my Instagram. Like, that was her goal. And I said, okay, let's have some really measurable success. What exactly do you want by March? She said, okay, maybe 10K.
Yeah.
Okay. And which, by the way, I think followers doesn't really matter, like followers or income or all that. But you need to have some sort of measurement to know if we are successfully chasing after that. Let's say if you want to lose weight or gain weight. Like, for me, I want to gain weight. So my goal this year, for this first quarter, I just want to gain 10 pounds. I know some people wants to like beat me up for saying that, but it's a struggle. Like, it's a struggle for all body size. You have to have a measurement of success for any type of goal. If that helps.
That's great advice. Yeah, that's great advice. Well, and then to your point, there was something that you said earlier too about, you know, like, if you want to set like $1 million as a goal, like, or even the school, like, you can have these things scheduled, but what you also have to realize is that everything is figure outable. Like, Marie Forleo always says that. and also thinking about like the money piece, like, the money is also a result, you know, and it goes back to something that I was reading in your bio about, like, you know, being purpose driven. I know, can you talk a little bit about being purpose driven?
So everything, okay, I guess like my other bio, I don't know if you saw my bio on Clubhouse. So I was an ex-gangster. Like, I was heavily in.
Yeah, I used to. Oh my gosh.
I had a bar in Orlando, Florida when I was 19. I used up all my scholarship money thrown in there because I thought my purpose was to like do music and have a club. So bar was happening, but I was also doing some illegal stuff. let's just say let's just say some illegal investments.
Oh
Okay,
my
it was a business. um and that business, after 5-6 years, was not aligned with my purpose, obviously. Like,
yeah.
i was I was not doing the society of, like, it was a party. Okay, it
Yeah.
was a party, let's just say that, because we're online right now,
Yeah.
Monique. I'll share with you offline.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a party, but that was not purpose driven. So as like around the 5-year mark, we were doing well. I was scaling into other, like, we had Chinese takeouts and jewelry business.
Mhm.
Somehow my heart was not happy. It was just not the thing I wanted to do. So that's an example of, like, everything we do, all the goals we do, it has
Yeah.
to go with our initiatives, our life initiatives, or our purpose. Like, what exactly are you here for, and how are you serving the world a better
Yeah.
place? Right? That's
Exactly.
It's such a cliche answer, but we have to, like, if the goal
Mhm.
is just like, I want to make $1 billion, and
Yeah.
and it's
Mhm.
just like, so I could buy all these things, like, you're gonna
Yeah.
eventually feel like there's no meaning to it. we need to
Exactly.
we need to feel, for us to feel fulfilled, we have to serve the world. I think
Mhm.
that is the ultimate thing.
I love
um yeah.
No, it's so true because it's just like, when you do something that's like in service to others or in service to the world, like the money's a result. The money will just
Yeah.
follow. You'll end up making money from that. So, okay, so last question. I always love to end these
Okay.
Q&As with action steps. What is the one action step you would recommend for these young professionals and entrepreneurs to do today as it relates to productivity and purpose?
Okay, so it is the beginning of the year. We're still
Mhm.
at like week 1, right?
Yeah.
I always suggest everyone to craft out their dream schedule, which is, we all have 24 hours a day. Like, time is always fair. But it's also time is how we spend our money. Time is
Yeah.
spent just like money.
So
So I
true.
would like everyone to really craft out your entire day. What would your dream schedule be like? When would you be waking up? When would you be sleeping? How many hours do you work? I'm talking about dream schedule here. It doesn't have
Mhm.
to be the realistic schedule, but
Yeah.
at least you have somewhere that you can fall on. So I always ask people to craft out their dream schedule. We subtract the hours of sleeping.
Mhm.
How much time do you want to spend with your family, your loved ones? And then how much time do you want to spend for yourself? Like, what's your self-care time? And then it goes into your dreams, and then
Mhm.
goes into, all the other things, like, I want to devote 2 hours to Netflix. Okay, let's schedule in that into your dream schedule.
Yeah.
And when you're doing that, remember that you're not a slave to your schedule. We're
Mhm.
not slaves to our planner, even though our planner might look really, really fancy.
Mhm.
So the best action step for you to do right now, for young entrepreneurs or young professionals, is to craft out that dream schedule so that you know how you want to live, and then intentionally it's going to start happening.
That's awesome. Well, and I hope you guys all caught that. If not, I'm glad this thing is recorded, so you can always rewind this and definitely do that exercise because I think it's going to be really, really great as you like kick off the new year too.
Yay.
So thank you so much for sharing so much about your story and just so many like little gold nuggets and wisdom here. Like this has been awesome, and it's been nice to like actually talk to you too because I know
I
we've been
know.
connecting, like through DMs and stuff
I
too.
know. I've been wanting to talk to you. I think this has been going on for like a year, or maybe it's
Yeah,
been a long time. So I'm so glad I finally
totally.
got to get here onto Monique's IG.
Yeah, I know,
I'll
right?
be seeing you on Clubhouse maybe even tonight. Like, it's almost midnight for me here.
Yeah, I know, right? I was like, oh my gosh. Well, I was trying to think about it too because it's the total opposite. So I was just like,
Yeah.
oh, you're like totally on the opposite side of the world.
Yeah. Can't wait to
um,
meet you in person one day.
yeah,
So
I know, right? Once all this craziness is over, that'll be
yeah,
awesome. I definitely wanted to like start traveling again.
totally.
So for people with more questions or interested in working with you, how can they get in touch with you?
So you can hit me up on IG, Instagram. It's Miss Maggie Lee, or just find me on Clubhouse. Is Maggie Lee. I'm so easily accessible. Oh, and there's a Facebook community that we host. It's called the Productive Dreamers. Just get in there if you need free accountabilities. I'm gonna start some cohort groups. It's gonna be amazing. If you want to really achieve those tangible goals, we're gonna get you there. We're gonna get you those tangible goals. Write your book. Okay.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Well,
Thank you.
excellent. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for tuning in live or if you're catching the replay, please, please, please always let me know your thoughts and feedback as always. Or if you'd like me to have Maggie on again sometimes, this has been super
Yay!
fun.
We can have a
um,
party.
I know, right? Any final thoughts from you, Maggie?
No, I'm just really grateful for you. Thank you for inviting me. I've always been loving what you do, and you've been doing
Oh,
like
thank you.
you paint, you're doing your thing like every single week. So I'm just like so impressed and
Oh, thanks.
really grateful for you. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, grateful for you too. Like, it's always about community, right? And I feel like especially with like 2020, like I naturally identify as like an introvert, and so like I've definitely really appreciated like having at least like an online community because
Yeah.
I didn't realize like how much even like the pandemic was still going to affect my mental state because I'm still a social being even though I identify as an introvert, right? But no, this has been awesome.
I
Well,
get it.
thank you so much for being here today. Get some sleep.
Thank
This has been
you. I will.
awesome. Hope
Thank you.
everyone has a great day.
Bye,
Bye. Happy New
everyone.
Year.